Your biggest enemy is you. Your biggest enemy is always you. I'm Dom Jackson, David A. Media, and this is the 7 Day Scoop Show, my weekly show where I document my career and decisions that I'm making. Your adventures trying to pursue, where I use my stories and my adventures to motivate and teach you. Man. Yeah, in the process of getting my van, car keys, it's gonna become my fleet of vans. Past 2 weeks have been great. Better in the sense, just kind of letting it all sink in and really thinking about what things have been going wrong or what things I need to improve over the past couple of weeks. One thing I've been focusing more on is how's my 3-week average been. So that's one of the things I've really been tracking, because like the week to week can be so different, and it's not that different, but having an idea of where your average is going up means like your lows are not as low and your highs are higher, and that's a win. So I've been going, my goal in the summertime, before summer started, like around May into, I'd say about May, June, was to be at a 500 point average. And last week before this week, this is coming out Monday, but that week before, 2 weeks before actually, was the first time I actually had that average in that entire time. So it took damn near 3 months to really be at a spot where like I have it, and I have it right now, and the goal is to not go backwards. So, 3 weeks doing at least 500 points in sales throughout the week with all situations happening. And bro, like, when I talk about the enemy being you, it's funny because, all the what you hold yourself to, how you envision yourself, your own standards, how you see yourself, is literally how you act and how you behave. So, one of the biggest things that with this new mentality of increasing my standards and like performing better in the field, I do when you work at something, you do it enough times, you understand it enough times, you're doing it enough that you can kind of go on autopilot with certain things and just like coast. But in order to really perform well, you're going to have to keep upping that ante, because what you did to get 500 points is not what you're going to do to get 700 points. You have to be a new version of yourself, do new things. And it's interesting because I always can feel the other one trying to pull me back. And sometimes it wins. I ain't going to hold you. Like, it definitely wins sometimes. So, to give you a little more idea what that is, like, if you watch this when I'm hot, I'm always talking about how I'm more intentional with everything. My attention and intention is there. So, when I'm talking to people, I'm looking them in the eye, I'm pausing. I'm not just and I'm not just talking to them. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot more intent, there's a lot more pausing, a lot more flow. And I can get there, but then like one thing happens is you want to get back. So the interesting thing is that as my stamina grows, because the selling itself is one aspect, the servicing is one aspect, but the selling, servicing, and dealing with all the other problems that come with it are the issues. So like, this past week I had some interviews I got to take care of, and still, have my numbers doing well. I had those servicing interviews, working with new people. Even new people come in and kind of change the chemistry a little bit. You got to adjust to like, even if you're not directly training them, you still got to like lead the way and show them the example. So there's always little things that change how things react. Because when you're with a team of like people that already know everything, it's like, night and day. Like, we don't have to think about it. We're just going. And then we understand what the next move is to help someone else out. But with new people, you got to adjust, help, double check things. And which is good. That's part of the business. That's part of growing. That's part of scaling. But being able to perform at a high level while doing that as yourself is tough. One of the biggest things that they always tell us in this business, and what I've really taken home, is that everything you can do, your team's going to do, 15% of that, 10% of that. Whatever lid you have on your ability is the same exact lid your team's going to have on them. So everything I'm like, oh, I suck at this, I'm like, I'm going to have trained people that are going to be 10 times worse than me at this, or like that much more worse than me at this. And if I stay here, they're gonna stay here. And it's like, no, be better, do better. But it's been good because, at least thinking wise, like, yo, I have to do this better. And there are, here's an example. Here's another example on why it's so important. And like, there's moments where like things will get a little more chill. My phone will be like, hey, like, look at me real quick, or like, I'll daydream about something. I'm like, all right, I'm at this much money for the day. Like, I'll be all right. And it's not the mentality I want to have. But when you're tired, it's hot. You know, you're outside 95-degree weather. You're like, it's easy to sneak in there. So, you know, one of the things I've really been doing now, because I'm around people all the time, when I feel myself zoning out, I'm like, what colors are people wearing clothing-wise? What outfits people have on? Like, what's the color, what's the vibe of the place or the area? And that kind of brings you back in the attention of like paying attention to what's going on outside instead of inside. And that's one thing that really has been helping me stay like alert, you know, or when I'm pitching somebody, what color their eyes, you know, what am I saying right now? How do I sound? What does my pitch sound like? What does my flow sound like? These are all things that I'm making little cues to keep me in the zone. And it's like, I can do all these things, but then doing them at all, to like at every capacity, when like I'm tired, the day is long, you know, things are not going well. I had a day where I had like, I was at like 200 points. Oh, I'm sorry, I was at like 20 points all day in sales. And, you know, I needed to get to, I ended the day at 100. But I was at 20 at like halftime. So I had to come back and then just put the work in to win. And, you know, I could do it, but being able to have that mentality to turn on every single time, regardless of what day it is, how many hours you slept, it definitely takes a little bit on you. But that's good. So that's why I like the average. So I was at, when I first started this process, I was at like a 300, I was at like a 300 average, 300 some change, maybe like 350. But now I'm at like a 510. So it took me 3 months of being intentional. And even now, it's like the next step is like, yo, I need to be doing 700 points a week. Like 700 points a week and 700 points average. Because like I need to be the best person in this place, because I need to train people that are way better than me, or at least at my level. And, you know, it just goes the process of taking things step by step. But, you know, whatever you're going through right now, just understand that there's a method to the madness, and there's some place you're going to next that kind of keeps you going. But you're always in your own way. How you think about yourself, how you think about things around you, literally is what it is. Obviously, being realistic is a part, but that realism has a certain amount of levels that only you can change. So as always, take it one step at a time and get there day by day.